crying out my tears in a testimony. Oh, you meant for a queen, and it's so unclean. My alabaster box.
I came not with pride, but with pain, not with polish, but with tears.
Because I started from the beginning. I started from 6-1. And immediately what stood out, because, I'm all for, like, imagery, was him, what was it? Sifting wheat in the wine press. You seen that?
Yep. And I'm going to be honest. When I read it initially, I didn't get it. I guess I was trying to understand. Then
Threshing wheat.
But it said something about he was hiding from the Midianites and like I don't know. It was just because I didn't read like the rest of the chapter for context. I had to like hurry up and skim read to kind of figure out where he was at and like what was happening. So obviously I got my handy dandy study Bible, and it said that in verse 11, the angel of the Lord appears at the foot of an oak tree. Gideon is threshing in a winepress, trying to hide what little wheat his father has from the martyring band. All of this symbolism points to lack of communion with God.
Yeah, because the Midianites took over. They were starving them. They had ran and hid, and every little thing that they had, they was coming in droves. The Midianites, what is it? The Amalekites. I think I'm saying that right. Amaleks. They came. Every time they would get something, they would get it taken. So they had to hide all that they had because they were starving to death. So and the reason why it stood out to me is because the process of threshing. Like the place where you thresh wheat is like so important because you need that open air to throw the wheat up and the wind takes it and the wheat falls. So to think of him doing it in a wine press and that's in the ground and how much harder he had to work to do it. That reminds me of us so much and how, go ahead, Lord. Go ahead and convict me. Just right as I'm about to say it, just beat me up on the inside. I remind myself, like, my family used to say, you work like a foreigner. You got like 3 or 4 jobs. And I'm just like, I got to make it happen, like I got to make sure I eat. And I didn't need for anything, but I miss so much. I miss so much in my life. I miss so much in my kid's life because I was always at work. Did he need for anything? No. Did he want for much of anything? No. Other than time, because I didn't have that because I was always at work. This is the time I worked 3 jobs. But that's what it made me think of. Like the work was still getting done, but the effort it took to do the work was so much more because it wasn't done in the right place. So he had the heart for it, but he wasn't correctly aligned. And that's what it brings me to because he had to do it in hiding. And he had to do it in hiding because Israel turned their backs on God and was worshiping the gods in the land that he told them not to. So they fell into the slavery. And that's why they were in that position they were in the first place, because they didn't have that communion with God anymore.
Yeah.
So even though like things still had to get done, but they were doing the things that needed to be done. But because like my thing look weird, don't it?
Mhm.
Oh, because of their circumstance and because of, what their disobedience led them into, this is what he was reduced to. Threshing wheat in a wine press. So that's why it stood out to me because like the process of it needs that open space. It needs to be up on a hill so the wind can carry the shaft away. And then think about how much sweat and how dirty he got, and like how much more time he had to put in. That's what got me. Like,
So we're just on verse 11 right now.
yeah.
And this is what I guess I can appreciate about our walk together and our friendship. Because I hear everything you just said and I felt that. But then when I read it,
What you got?
like, so just like you said, so I guess what, like, parts of what you said is bringing me to where my mind went, right? And I'm just like, okay, so we know that there is something that is literally sucking resources, taking everything. And yet he's hiding to preserve the little that he has. So it's like, just like you said, the work that he is doing was meant to be in a more conducive or um I guess like the actual climate that it's supposed to be in, it wasn't available. So he's reduced to doing something that is working harder, that is hiding, that is keeping what little that you have. And I'm sitting here just in verse 11 thinking about just that with me. I feel like the little that I've always had for as long as I can remember, I've been reduced to working in spaces that weren't conducive to my growth or my potential. Despite what other people thought about me, I feel like I've been forced to work in the wine press.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy because it literally said to hide what little wheat his father had in that space. And it's just like, even though it's like, what was it, the Midianites? Like you said, they're coming in droves, they're taking, they're taking, they're taking. My enemies and the people that were sucking my resources were people that I knew.
Girl. Girl.
Like
I don't even know
family,
what
my
you know.
friends, lovers. Like I literally have been forced to work in a wine press forever because it was like whatever I probably could have had or the little that I had, it was being sucked away. Like it was being taken. So I literally got used to working on less. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I got used to operating in an environment that was harder than it needed to be.
Yes.
And then when it says like it was because of the lack of communion with God, it's weird because, growing up, like my parents always worked. So it was really hard for us to go to church and stuff. But it was like I knew God was there. Like I knew who he was. But then when they had started going back to church, I had gotten older. I was in high school. I was doing sports. I was doing this, that, and the third. So I didn't really go as much as I wanted to. So I kind of lost the communion on my own, like through circumstance. But then when I went away, I guess I had allowed everything to make me feel unworthy of God. So I was like, that communion with me and you is, I'm too far gone, kept going further out. And I was just like, God, I know you there. I see what you're doing for my family, especially like my brother. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I know you there, but I'm like, I see why you bless him because he is obedient, like he in the church. So I'm like, I'm already out here. So it's just like my communion was like severed. So me working harder and me not getting and people taking and taking and taking, I kind of just took that. I was like, well, I made my bed, I'm gonna lay in it. Like, this is why. So it's like, even just that, I got used to working there.
You said something, and I'm imagery. So, like, I was writing down some of the stuff you were saying, right? And I thought about a wine press and how it, like, the hole and how it looks. Like, if you're doing, like, not like a bucket wine press where they build like a big box and they jump into the box, but I'm talking about the ones that are like built into the ground, right? And you're trying to sift this wheat, right? Imagine how you have to diminish yourself to do that type of work in a small space, like physically. And whatever you do physically, your mind starts to follow it. So imagine how much we diminished ourselves working on big dreams, working on big plans, seeing ourselves bigger than the space we're in, and forcing ourselves to fit into this small space, into this small mindset, in order to work in the environment that we tried to maintain the resources we had. That's crazy. Like, we were given these resources and we were too afraid to nurture them properly because it may be snatched from us or people want too much from us. So we stick ourselves in this case. That's so, that's crazy. I'm like looking at it, I see it in my head, and it's making me mad because I'm just like imagining me like hunched over a little small desk in the corner, like, and I could have an office and I could spread my arms out, I could stretch. And I'm wondering why, like, my body aches so much. I get headaches, and like, is my body reacting to the small space that I've confined myself to in order to maintain resources that I have instead of like depending on God for what he want to give.
Yeah.
Like, why am I trying to maintain these small resources when God has exceedingly and abundantly above all I can ask or think? But because it's in my hands, I want to hold on to this. That
I almost like, I guess I wish I had that inkling of drive, like the wanting to hold on to it,
yeah.
because I got so used to that place, I just expected it to be gone. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not even like saying this as if like people were purposefully draining me, because I feel like in a lot of the situations, I don't think anybody knew, because I was so used to putting on like a brave face, or like a I'll figure it out later, or like, you know what I mean? It was just like I got so used to it that became like an accustomed to me. And I didn't really know how much, I guess, it affected me until it was too late most of the time. Because then I'm thinking about that space, and it's underground and you're hunched over and it's dark and it's not conducive for anything, and I gotta work harder, and it reminds me of my depression.
Okay, right.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay, right.
And I'm forced to work through this, and I'm wondering why I have to do this. Like, and it almost kind of seems like, as you kind of read on, it's like Gideon's fed up. He's like, yo, like, they keep taking my stuff. I have to keep doing this. I'm forced to work in this environment. I feel that way. And I still feel that way. But it's like, I mean, now it's a little different because I know how to maneuver it and I know how to soldier through it. But before, like, working in a wine press was me working in my depression, like forcing myself to keep or to give,
Mm.
or waiting for somebody to take. And it's like I have to keep working in this space. I have to keep working hunched over, delayed, deprived, sad, not wanting to live anymore. Like, and then I have to keep working. I have to keep working. I have to keep pressing. I have to keep finding what little resources I can to keep on. Like, it's just like, that's just verse 11.
And you're saying something because I looked at verse 12, right? When you was like, that's just verse 11, right? And I looked at verse 12. So you said something that I wrote down: self-reliance taught me to be self-sufficient. It made me capable, and capable meant that I was able, and able meant that I was strong. And then when I wasn't able anymore, there was my weakness. Like when I couldn't anymore, when I had nothing else to give, when I had no more nothing, like I just was kaput, like, like, like the but right before your car cut off because all the gas is out, because I play gas tank roulette a lot. Sometimes I don't make it. So that little, where you start to slow down and you're like, oh, I don't know. Like I come into that part in myself and saying, okay, now who's gonna want me? And then God comes along and said, you're above and not beneath. You're the head and not the tail. And now, because I've reduced myself to this space, and now my thinking and my mindset is on this small person, and God is saying, but you're bigger than that. You're hunched over because you don't fit in there. Like bringing that to me. And then you see, like in 12, it said, and the angel of the Lord appeared unto him and said unto him, the Lord is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. Imagine being mid stroke to throw the wheat up in the air, and you look up and it's like you might even know me.
Who are you talking to?
And that's exactly like we talk about it all the time because that's exactly how we was. We were so into this routine of trying to maintain our resources, and God called us something different. And we scrambled like, who you talking to? Now we're forced to lean on him because we got to get an understanding of what you calling us. Because we done fit ourselves into this idea of us for so long because of circumstance. And even though we had, like he was saying, like when you read further down, he said, where the miracles and stuff that, the older people was talking about, where that's at, And we're like, where are those things? You calling me this, but this is what I've been enduring my whole life. This is what I've been putting up from with people. This is what I taught that love was, like they told me that I had to continue to deal with people in my family that violated me because that's love and they family. They didn't tell me that I can forgive them and love them in a different way as a command. And I didn't have to keep exposing myself to the violation. You feel me? I didn't have to keep letting people use me. I didn't have to keep letting people pull on me when I had nothing left, waiting for somebody else to pour into me. And it never happened. So now I got to drag myself up and I'm relying on myself. And this is where self-reliance come in because this is what we was taught. So now when we got to learn how to lean on God, and that lean changes our posture, it changes our face, it changes our heart, it changes the way we act, it changes the way we dress, it changes the way we look. And we come into a new identity and we're like, what is this about? You want me to lean? There's no way that human understanding can withstand the weight of a lean into God. This is why I wrote it. Proverbs, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, acknowledge him in all your ways and he will make your path straight. And I've been writing this for like a good 2-3 months now. And
Or sit.
it's like, okay, so I've looked up the word lean in Hebrew and it means to rest your weight upon. And that's what I was saying. Like human reasoning, human logic can't like withstand the pressure that comes from faith because faith goes beyond the reasoning. So like when he had to like basically shift into this new identity, that took faith. If he tried to do it on his own, because God told him, I'm with you. If he tried to shift into that identity of his own, he would have crippled because he was used to being hunched. Now he got to stand up. That takes repositioning and realigning. Like the change in your posture. So it's just like all this time, I wanted to be a woman of God, you know? I wanted to be dedicated. I wanted to live my life for him. And here I am needing a chiropractor and steady trying to do it myself. Steady trying to like realign myself. And I'm still like, I still got the limp. I still got this. I still got that. I got this pain. This nerve is being pinched. And this is real life, like dealing with this type of pain. And it's just like, okay, Lord, I'm going to need someone to help me. I'm going to need to go to physical therapy. I'm going to need a chiropractor. And that's just how it is spiritually. Like, I need you because I can't reposture myself. I can't reposture my heart because fruits don't come from my own accord. It comes from me diving into you and you working on me, and that's what pour out of me because I'm going into you. It doesn't come from me saying, oh, I want to have more joy. I want to have more peace. I want to have long suffering. I want more self-control. It takes work physically, but it also takes the work spiritually. And it's just like having everything, all your resources snatched from you is crazy at one time. And we're both like slowly experiencing that. And it's just like, okay, I'm trusting you. And I want, to let control go is to have faith. Right. So then it was like I was questioning like my faith because like I'm a control freak and I want to lean in you and I want to see you. I want to see me how you see me, you know, and none of this stuff matters to me anymore. And you can have it. But what am I supposed to do in the between time? Like with my hands, like I'm a worker and I'm a servant and I love you and I want to please you and I know you want me to wait on you, you want me to lean on you, and you said you're going to go with me, right? And I'm in this space with you, but like, what am I supposed to do while I'm waiting? I'm praying, I'm talking to you, and I see stuff disappearing. I see people disappearing. And I'm like, I don't care, I got God. I don't care, I got God. And then I get to a place where I'm like, okay, you could take everything. And now you're starting to work on my identity and repositioning me. And that junk hurt. And it hurt a lot because the things that I thought about myself, or, like, I remember, like, so for instance, I used to like design stuff or write poetry. And I used to call people like, oh, what do you think of this? The people that I used to call is dead. I mean, they young, 30, 20s, they're gone. The people that I use to verify me, to validate me are gone. And I'm sitting here like every time I write something, I go to call my friend, he's gone. And I'm sitting here with this piece of work and I'm like reading it and I'm like, Lord, you really like be working through me. And it's just like, why do I need the validation? You know, like, why can I be okay with what you put in me? But that's the part of the reposturing. That's the part of the realigning
Yeah.
that I'm getting used to. And it hurts because this is what I was used to doing. You better not start crying, best friend, because you're getting red.
Okay, so the idea of all of this is like forced to lean. And the reason why I asked you what I asked you before, I was like, was this the original episode that we were taping or did it change? And after I had looked at something and I guess read it, like what I'm actually reading in the study guide Bible, I went in the bathroom and I was kind of irritated. And I said it to you. I was like, I'm tired of God handling me the way he's handling me. Because we had Judges 6:11 through 16. And it's literally God coming to a man in the middle of an identity crisis.
No, no, no. God created the identity because
Like,
I think he had gotten so used to doing it. It just is like,
but that's what I'm saying. It's like I got used to being in this space. I got used to thinking about myself in a certain way, doing things a certain way,
touchy.
like putting up veils of protection a certain way to hide. Like I don't even know how to say it. Like I put on these personas or I put on these threads of protection. Like I did so much stuff after working in this kind of identity of lowless, forgotten, doubtful, everything being taken away. I'm used to this. I'm not worth nothing more than this. For you to turn around and say, you're going to be a mighty woman of God. What do you mean, sir? Respectfully. Like, because what you give me is contrary to what it looks like. So when he's sitting here like, what do you mean? Like our tribe is weak and I'm the least of the weak tribe.
The weakest of the
Like, you know what I'm saying? And he's just like, mighty man of valor. What are you saying? Like, what are you talking about? Like, do you not see what I'm doing right now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is how I'm reading it. Like, now that I know what I'm reading it through. And it's like a little sassy, like, God, if you're with me, why the heck am I down here in this wine press hiding food from these Negroes? Like, you know what I mean? And then you gonna come to me and say, I'm about to be a mighty warrior, like I'm a mighty man of valor. Like, so you're speaking to me about something that you see that is contrary to what I'm in, right? So then when I'm reading this, I'm thinking of myself. Like, I have been working like a dog, putting up with trying to fight my way through, trying to make a way out of no way, trying to not fall apart, trying not to commit suicide, trying not to be the worst person I could have possibly been. And then you come to me and you trying to tell me that I'm going to be greater than this. My mind can't comprehend that. So being forced to lean for me is I have never him, then that means that I should have faith in myself. I should have faith in the possibilities. I should have faith in my potential. So when people came to me, when God came to me, when I'm getting things and they're speaking life into me, I'm like, what do you mean? I'm used to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm used to working myself to death, crying myself to death, being angry to death. And you mean to tell me that I'm going to be something more than this? How? I've been doing this for so long. That is a foreign entity. So when we say forced to lean, I thought I had been putting pieces in place. I thought I had tried a little harder. Like after I really started getting into like the swing of it and I started trying to see myself differently to the point where I guess it was not working. Because the day you came in here in this very living room with my prayer shawl telling me that God said he tired of waiting on me, tired of waiting for me to do the work, tired of waiting for me to do it the right way. When I say after that day, I literally got pushed off the shift cliff. Like it was like my force to lean looked different than yours because I had been cherry picking up to that point. I'm like, God, I love you. I have faith in you. I know you're going to do the work. I know I'm going to get there at some point. But I wasn't doing the work in me fast enough to where I literally got pushed into an abyss of identity crisis to where I was forced to deal with everything at one time to the point where I felt like a foreigner in my own body. Like, who is this for real? I'm afraid to look in the mirror. I'm afraid to look at certain things on TV. I'm afraid to look at my daughter. I'm trying to tell myself, like, this is where I live. This is my family. This is what you're doing. Like, I had become so disconnected because he had to literally shatter the illusion of everything that I had created up until that point so I could get to know who he created me to be. And it's like now that I'm coming out of that, like you heard me, I was talking to everybody at church. I was like, this is what I feel like. I don't know what's happening. I done called Bishop. I'm like, sir, I literally don't know who I am. Literally. Like I'm grasping bits and pieces. But I am tired of people telling me that I am going to be something and I don't even know who I am anymore. So it's like this hit me in a certain way because he forced me to lean in a way that I wasn't expecting. I was ready for the experience that you had, but then I realized that our paths may cross and they may go parallel, but our experiences are different.
You don't want that.
Because but that's the crazy thing. Your experience looks at me and says you don't want that. Meanwhile, I say the same thing to you because if I don't know why we might think that way, but it's like, oh, what I'm going through, it's like I don't even want nobody to experience it. And that's what I was feeling. I was like, I don't even want to experience this because I'm literally waking up and it feels like I don't know where, who, what, when it is brain fog, disconnection, imposter syndrome, all of these things. And I'm just like, God, why are you doing this to me? Like, I've been saying this to you all my life. Like, why am I going through this? And now it's like my yes turned into this. And I'm like, I could have did this on my own. I could have went through all of this. And I kept telling you, I was like, this feels like depression, but it feels like it's something else. It feels like it's something I'm supposed to learn from this. It's something I'm supposed to get from this. And it was literally him forcing me to lean on him in this moment. Like, because the only thing that was keeping me sane in all of that was praying. The only thing that kept me sane was reading my Bible, touching my prayer shawl. And as pissed off as I was at him, I was like, now I get why he did it like this. Because I would have kept pushing off the things that I needed to address. Like the other things that you said, I have to show gratefulness and what I'm in. I have to praise him before it gets here. Like I had to do all of that to get to this point, to realize that it wasn't punishment. He was forcing me to depend on him because I could depend on him with everything else but who he said I am. Like, I wasn't worried about a house coming. I wasn't worried about a car coming. I wasn't worried about, having the career that I wanted. I was like, it'll get here when it get here. But when it came to my self identity, I wasn't ready to depend on him for that. I wasn't ready to have faith in that because I didn't think that could be me. I had disqualified myself for so long. I had put myself in that wine press for so long to where you're telling me to stand upright and walk in my authority and be the person that I called you to be. So now, in this moment, I'm like, you had to do it because now I see what you were pushing out of me. I see why I went through all of that to get to this point. I see why I went through all of that in my life. Like, even though some things could have been stuff that I chose or stuff that happened and happenstance, like because of the decisions that I made, but it was like, even in that, I'm like, I had gone through all of this. And then I say yes to you and I think it's going to get easy. And then you force me to lean on you in the way that I almost died before because it mirrored that. And then it was like, you're taking me through this again. And I thought I prayed that you would never let me feel like this again. So why are you doing this to me? Why are you forcing this on me? And it's because he wanted me to lean on him.
Okay, so you almost made me cry. That's first of all. I'm holding it in.
I didn't want to
I'm
cry.
doing
I
very
don't do
good.
this. I don't cry.
I'm doing
on
very good, Erica. Not over here in
Oh.
tears. I'm getting choked up, but I'm like, he'll show us that we can survive it. Because you survived it, right? And then we forget that we survived it because we're going through it again. We forget that we went through this. You seen it coming. You was able to identify it. It felt the same, but it felt different. I think and that's what the force is about because it's drastic. It's not like a lean on me, come to me. It's like, nah, you about to do this and we about to do it together, and that's how it was. It was just like, I am going to isolate you because I need your attention. I need you to see. I need you to open your eyes. I need you to open your ears because what happened was the same thing that happened with me. I remember I wrote this poem and it was talking about me offering God the things I thought were important enough to carry. And I was like, as I got older and I went back and read it, I was like, but what about the rest of me? Do I not present those things to God? Do I, save those for a later date? What if he needs those things now and I'm only offering this? Does my yes stop at what what I think is important? And then if I have to deal with those things, do my yes stop? Do I make God wait on me to be ready to give him part of me? What if, this season calls for me to give more and mentally I'm unprepared for that? But guess what? He do not ask permission to activate us. He do not ask permission for it's just like that you're saying that. And I felt it because it's just like I feel like I'm about to go through a period of peace and I thought I knew peace before, but it's just like the way that things are moving around me, and I'm just like, okay, I'm used to making it happen, and now I don't have that in me. I had I'm going to trust God. I'm going to lean on God. But it took me a while to get here. It took me a while to say, okay, I'm going to take my hand off it. Okay, I'm going to sit down. Okay, I'm going to wait on you. Because before I'm just like, waiting is for the birds.
Yeah.
Like I can't do this. I can't see me sitting here waiting for something to happen and I'm a able-bodied person. I can do this, God. I got this. And he like, no, I got you. And it's just like, what does that mean? I got you. Like nobody's ever had me. Like people I think like somebody said, oh, I wish I had a mother like yours. I wish I had a father like yours. And I was like, you could wish that you had a mother that cares and take the good qualities. Don't wish for my parents because my parents had their own share of things that they traumatized me with, and I love them dearly. they were good parents, but I got trauma from them. So
Mhm.
don't wish for my parents, like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what I go through is so different. And I love that, like, we don't try and have each other's everything. I
Mhm.
see some people that, like, they try and, they try and have what their friends have. Oh, I want your faith. I want your walk with God. I want to be here the way you are with God. And I'm just like, bruh, nah, you don't want none of this. Not the way I got it. Get it the way you gonna get it.
Right.
Because you may not be able to
Cause
withstand
you be hearing me, you be going through stuff,
some
and
of
I
the
be praying
things.
immediately, God, I don't want that,
You
but Imma
may
help her
not
pray
be
through it, but
able.
don't you dare look at me and try to give me none of what she got going on, cause I'm straight.
Because I'm like, Lord, like, to, like, go into him and he's like, okay, I want you to look like this. I want you to smell like this. You can't wear this. You can't go here. You can't do your hair this way. Like, it was so specific, some of the things I heard. And I'm like, that's my favorite hairstyle. What you talking about? That slick back ponytail I used to listen.
But see, that was also your fault, cause you prayed for that,
Listen, I did pray for it. I did,
and he gave it
because
to you.
I was like, Lord, I want to look like you, and I want,
I
like,
want you to come into my life, and I just want you to tell me what you want me to do.
what you
I
want
want
me
you
to
to walk through
do?
my day. I want you to tell me what to wear. That you asked for
Okay,
that.
you need to stop.
You
Okay,
asked for that.
that's not how I sound, but I did, because that's what I wanted.
Mhm.
But I didn't know it was gonna come
With what you got.
like that.
Let this be a testament. Be careful
Okay,
what y'all pray for.
please, because I had that that body oil I like. It smelled like Love Spell
Mhm.
for Victoria's Secret. I love, that's my favorites. I put that thing on one day and the Lord was like, go take a shower. I was like, what? Had to change clothes and everything. Then he was like, anoint yourself. And then show me how to anoint myself. And then I can go out. I'm like, this is wild. But it was like you were saying, like, you had came back in communion with God in the force to lean. And I think that's what it is about. It's about how we entertain God,
Mhm.
how we connect with him. Because a lot of people, like, they're like this phrase. I've used this phrase a lot when it comes to how we treat God, like two ships passing in the night.
Mhm.
Like, we see each other. We could collide. It's dark. Like, that's how our relationship is with God. Like, I catch you when I catch you. I see you when I see you.
Mhm.
I come see you when I need something. Or, I'ma sit with you, like, I'ma read every day. I'ma give you this hour. But if it's more than that, I don't have time for it. I set aside my time with you. And I was like that. I was like, I set aside my time with you. Pray, I give you 10% of my day. It was like, wow, to the point where it was like, okay, uh, pray without ceasing now.
Mhm.
And I'm like, how you do that?
Mhm.
Like, how you want me to be talking to you all day long? And it was a learning experience, because it wasn't only like me going to him.
Yeah.
It was him allowing to inject himself into my day. And I'm just like, it be sometimes like I just be sitting in vision. I be like, I know people be like, she in space. I don't even know how
Yeah.
my face looks like when I go. So it's just like to come back, and it feels like it'd be a long time, but I come back, it'd be minutes. And I'm just like, okay, Lord, you want me to lean on you. You want me to depend on you. You're gonna take my stuff, which is fine now. At first, it was a complete and total freak out. I was like, what is happening? Why is this happening? I was faithful. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm paying my tithes. All of this. Why is my money funny? Why is what's wrong with my stuff? Okay, because I done did all of this. I done changed my life. I'm celibate. I'm doing everything. I'm like, okay, I'm following step by step. Why is my stuff being touched? I thought this was in your will. I thought like I was doing it. And it's just like, oh no, not yet. You still got some stuff to work on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was thinking about like what I was talking with Ty. And I was thinking about the thoughts I had afterwards. And like coming into this conversation. And I'm like, Lord, when you forced me to lean on you, it was painful, because I had started to see myself as how you wanted me to see me, but I didn't see myself as who you see me as. And it's a really big difference.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize the difference in the weight of that difference. It was just like, okay, now you say that this is who you see me as. And I'm still saying, nah, that's not my ministry. Like that's not my ministry when it actually is. Because my ministry looked so different from what I was used to. And I kept saying to you, like, I just feel like my ministry is gonna be different. I don't feel like it's gonna like look like what other people are saying. They're saying it's gonna be different, but I don't think they know the weight of how different it's gonna be. Like it's not gonna be, I'm trying to think of the word, but it's not gonna be how you see ministry now. It's not gonna be that way. I was like, I feel like it's gonna be so different because of the things that he's presenting to me, of the way he's forcing me to lean on him. And it's just like when I was in the middle of it for them 3 months without a job, and people was looking at me crazy and questioning me like, you sure this is what I want for you? And I'm just looking at, I was not without for 3 months. And you know this. I was not without for 3 months. I may not have like money to go out to eat and stuff like that, but I was taken care of.
Yeah.
Like I didn't go to sleep at night stressed. Like, how is this gonna get paid? How I'm gonna do this? And I think that was like another bigger part of being forced to lean on him.
Mhm.
Cause I was a little bit crazy before everything happened. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I was about to say, and there were even times we even tried to act stressed.
I
And then it
did.
was like the second you said, I'm like, now, sis,
It
you
did
already know it's gonna be all right. So you need to
immediately.
chill. And then it was like literally not if it wasn't hours, it was like the next day. And I was like, see,
But it's just like, okay, you're tripping.
like I'm gonna go ahead and let you vent right now, but we all know it's gonna be all right later. So
I know. I tried it. I
but
did.
you did. And that was your control issues though.
It was because I wanted to. That was me wanting to have my hands in it. You right?
Mhm.
Because I was like, Lord, I could just go do this. And then when like my body wouldn't move, I'm like, oh, so you just gonna just obey him like that? Like,
Yeah. Well, and I feel like we have that same idea or mindset about control because when it comes to this and fully leaning in on God and knowing that He will provide every need as long as I become obedient, when He gave you basically the rule of sit down and just relax, I was always told that that is lazy, that is weak, that is not productive, that is. So you mean to tell me I have to sit here and not do nothing? So of course I'm going to create situations where, all right, well, what can I do?
what can I do? Guess what?
And then when I'm sitting too long, it's like, okay, now I'm stressed because how, like, where is it coming from? Like,
You
how it's
get
going?
antsy.
Like, it's weird. It's
Yeah.
weird. And being a person like us, where we used to the shoe dropping. I'm trying to prevent that shoe from getting to the floor. So obviously, I'm gonna sit there with my hand like this because I'm sitting here. What the heck is that game? It's like they be catching the things when they fall and they have to catch all 10. I be feeling like that because I know these things is about, I know these bills is about to drop. I know there's about to be some family drama. I know I'm about to get some kind of bill or collection in the mail. My daughter got this expense. My baby daddy is kind of, so I'm sitting here waiting for all this. So I don't know how I would react if he said that to me because I'm gonna be like,
I didn't like it.
Big G, because I'm watching you go through it. And I'm best believe I could coach you through it. I'd be like, sis, you about to be fine. Even if you not, I got you because I'm used to that savory complex too. So I almost feel like he was working in a way for me and my friendship because I was also used to always doing for people. So it was teaching me something as your friend and as like your walking partner of like, I'm going to do this through her, but it's also showing you something because you won't always have to save nobody as long as y'all both walking with me.
Okay, but wait a minute. Okay,
Like,
because girl, I thought of that, right?
like, you know what I'm saying?
I literally thought of that because when you started going through your stuff, I was like, oh, I want to do this. I
He
want to
told
do
you
that,
no
right?
multiple times.
Right. So, and I had the money to help you.
That's
And
what
he
I'm
told
saying.
me, don't touch it, right?
Yeah.
Then I started going through my stuff and I'm like, how strange is it that this happened like this, right? And in my mind, I was like, it's so wild that he would do it the way he did it. I say God is so meticulous, and
Yes,
he
it's
be
wild.
he just ain't, but he's courteous. I love it. So this was what my thought was. I was like, we're so used to saving people. He didn't even allow us to save each other.
Yeah.
Like he had us watch each other go through it, keep each other accountable, push each other, pray for each other. Like, listen, you got this. Cause there were some days where you had to come and shake me in the spirit.
Yeah.
There were some days where I had to come and shake you, and we like, I know, Lord, I got you.
Yeah.
You got it. Like, like wiping the tears and coming back and just saying, Lord, I'm sorry, I had a moment. And it's just like you can have your moment.
Yeah.
Because this is, and I think that's what threw me off, because I felt like me having a moment was weakness.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because how can his strength be perfected if I'm never weak? Because that's what the scriptures say, right? So, like, how I don't understand, like, in my mind, it was exploding. It was just like, this is weakness. Stop crying. Stop balling up. Stop going to him. And then it was like, I gotta come against the spirit of laziness. When you said that, I'm like listening to myself. Then I'm sitting here like, girl, you about to be in trouble because you is messing with the Lord door. Shut your mouth and sit there. So then I'm sitting there and I'm like, Lord, how do I deal with this space of waiting that you have me, and you're making me lean on you? What should I do? I had a whole schedule. It was like, teach yourself a new, girl, I done learned some new stuff, how to do some new stuff. Okay. I done got into animation in this time of waiting. Teach yourself a new skill. Like, devote this amount of time and did it. And I'm sitting here like, I'm trying to create a schedule of how to do these things. I'm so disorganized. And I keep praying, like, Lord, if I got ADHD, just, tap me on the shoulder. Do I really need to be
I think it's
tested?
spiritual ADHD, but
I don't know. No, it's in my normal life too.
like I think
Like,
but that has become your new normal too. So
I know, and I'm so discombobulated, but everything seems in order. But
it
I be,
runneth over.
I don't know. It does. It's just overflowing with the Lord and some other stuff, and I'm just like, okay, I don't want to, nitpick God. I don't want to nitpick him. Like, I want to do what you want me to do. I want to sit. I want to wait. I don't want to, like you said, cherry pick pieces part of myself. I don't want to pick myself apart. But I also don't want to feel like I did. And this was I'm gonna say it the way that I'm gonna say it. I didn't want to feel vulnerable. I didn't want to feel like if an attack came from anywhere that I would crumble because I was already going through something. So I'm like, Lord, how do I fortify myself in this weak place? Because I was in a weak place. I had nothing to offer. I had nothing to give. I was interceding. I was praying. I was trying to fast. I was like just doing all that I could. And I'm just like, okay, Lord, how do I protect myself in this space where you're forcing me to lean? And he said, you don't. What do you mean? What do you mean I can't protect myself? And he said, I'll go with you. Okay. And when we get there, when it pop off, you want me to step back so you could swing, or, am I leading and you following up? Like, what we doing? Because, like, I was so unsure. I'm like, because I'm not going to let nobody hit me. Like, I'm going to be on guard. And that's when he got into the guard your heart, but don't be guarded. And I'm like, this is tough. I don't want it. I want you, but I don't want all the rest of it. I don't want all the rest of it. And I'm like, Lord, but then it started to change because I'm like, I really want this. Because if it's going to please you and I'm going to grow closer to you, and you're going to look at me and say, well done, my good and faithful servant. You're going to look at me and say, oh, I know you.
Yeah.
I'm like, if that's what it's going to take, that's what it's going to take.
Yeah.
Who I got to forgive? Who, like, what I got to stay silent against? Like, do I have to be silent for a long time? Am I going to be able to speak for myself, or are you going to speak for me? Are you just going to go against them for me? Like, what is it? Because ain't no way they getting away with what they doing.
What was that? What I don't remember when. I know it was just within the last like week. And I called you and I was like, best friend, I want to tell you what my biggest fear is.
What?
And I was like, my biggest fear is doing everything that I think I'm possibly supposed to be doing
Oh,
for
I
God.
remember that. Yeah.
And I get the judgment day and he look at me and still say you don't know me. And when you're sitting here and you're talking about your forced to lean moment, especially in this recent experience,
Yeah.
and then you talk about while in waiting, this is what you're enduring, and this is how you're being taught, and this is how you're being reshaped, and this is how everything is kind of falling into place in this moment of waiting for you, right? So it's kind of forcing me to mirror my experience. So while you're talking, I'm literally sitting here trying to connect my dots. And I've been in waiting for a minute. And not even to sit here and sound like ungrateful or anything, but it's just like it's been almost 5, 6 years now. Cause I can start to remember when certain things were being said to me and prophesied over to me and things that I heard about me. So this whole Gideon thing has been happening for me in the course of 6 years.
Mhm.
I guess this is where I have to sit here and I have to understand that God is outside of time. What may seem like it's forever for me is really not that much time for him because he can. So I'm sitting here like, what has been happening in my waiting? Why do I feel like I'm not doing enough? Or why do I feel like I'm not on par? But then it's like you said, in your waiting, you started to realize that you started getting all of these ideas, started getting an abundance and overflow. And it's just like you have so much going on. It feels like you have ADHD because you have so much that you've acquired and you're waiting now that you go back. And now I have to remember I have to be careful what I pray for because I was like, I want you to be my every day. Like, but I wanted it to be, I wanted to work on my relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was just like because I didn't really know how to pray. The people I seen in the church and what I seen, I was like, I don't want to be like them. Like, I want to still be me,
Mhm.
but I want you incorporate it in a way where it doesn't feel like I have to force it.
Right.
So it became like me just talking in a car, like, God, it's a nice day today. Like, we chilling, we listening to music, I'm singing to him, we sitting here, we doing whatever. And then it's like the harder my life got, the more I started seeing that has been redirecting me all this time. So all those prophecies I'm getting 3, 4, 5 years ago, when it's like you're going
Oh,
to
you better
come
get
into
down.
something, you're
Get
going
your
to
butt
be
down.
walking in a direction,
Get
you're
down.
going to become this, you're going to do that. And my identity crisis is saying that I'm thinking that it's something that's going to happen boom overnight and it's going to be something, but I think I have been walking in that direction for a while now
So
without understanding.
who say you waiting?
What do you mean waiting?
You said you feel like you've been waiting for a while.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like I've been waiting for a while, but it's it's what I have been becoming this whole time.
Right.
You
That's
know
what
what I'm
I'm
saying?
hearing. Yeah.
So it's like even just now I think I got convicted because I was just like what am I waiting for? And then the crazy thing is like right before you came over here I was like, I was scrolling through my TikTok and I came across like Pastor Pam, y'all of Philip Anthony Mitchell. I just like how he talked because he talked like how I feel, down to the smacking and doing this with the Bible because that's how I be feeling. Because I'm just like, God, what is this? Like, you know what I'm saying? So he was talking about exactly what my fear was, and it's just like you think you're doing all of these things, but when you get to heaven, you're literally going to be departed from because he don't know you. So when he was talking about it, he was like, when we as Christians read the word and certain, leaders and stuff that are in churches and stuff now, it's like we read something like God's word, and when we're still figuring it out, we create, what did he say? He said it real good. He was like, we create compromises and laws against it
Mhm.
in our heart, right? So when he was saying that, I was like, do that. But then when he started talking, and he started talking about being in relationships and living with boyfriends and having sex before marriage, and then he started getting into the identity issue, right? So reading what we're reading in the word, Even with Gideon, where he's like, I'm coming to you and I'm telling you, you gonna be this. So when he's sending people prophesying to me, speaking in my ear, telling me I'm going to be this, I literally started creating a law against what he's saying. Like, that ain't me. How's that gonna be me? I'm too broken, I'm too battered, I'm too beat up, I'm too hard, I'm too nasty, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm too this. And I was like, I got convicted hard sitting on that step. And I didn't even know it was gonna play into this episode. I had just scrolled and it just came back to me because have been sitting here saying, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. Meanwhile, I'm doing. But it wasn't until just now where I realized that. Like, what am I waiting on?
Yeah.
I'm waiting on me. He's sitting there like, it's all right here. But I've literally been birthing things in this period that I'm just now realizing that mighty woman, the guy he was talking about, I'm doing it. It just may not look the way that I expected. And I have to start taking my mind out of that space. Like, my expectations of how and when these mighty signs and wonders, sometimes they so intricate and tactful and subtle to where when I turn around, I'm like, oh, been doing this whole time. Literally been walking in what you've been saying. Like, I've literally been doing the thing that you said I thought I was waiting for. And I think I didn't realize it until you just opened your mouth and talked. And I think I'm even more irritated now because I'm like, I've been sitting here waiting all this time for something I already had in my forced to leave moment.
So I just read go in thy might. That's what he told Gideon, to go in thy might. Because you said that he said to God, I'm in the weakest of the tribes and I'm in the least of that tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord responded to him, go in thy might. And you'll save Israel. Have not I sent thee? And as you were talking, all I could think of was you felt like you've been in your weakest moments waiting. You've been like in survival mode, fighting the same depression that you overcame.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we had that conversation like, you already beat this.
Yeah.
You already know what's coming. So now you need to map out how it attacks you, what it look like, what it smell like, how it come, what time it come, and build a plan against it because it's meticulous.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm thinking about like those conversations. And then I see that God told Gideon to go in that might. And that's exactly what you did. You went with the strength that you had. And he commanded you to like, I be feeling like Dory, like just keep swimming, swimming. Like seriously, that's how I feel. Like we're walking. Like that's how I be feeling like following God in these weak points. Like I have to tell myself, just keep going. Because even though I can't see it, if I walk by faith and not by sight, eventually I will arrive at a destination that he wants me to be at.
Yeah.
Because I talked about feeling like I'm holding on to the hem of his garment and I can't see where I'm going. I'm just allowing him to lead me. And I'm trusting that some way or another, I'm going to wind up where I'm supposed to be in him. Right. And that's why I hear when I'm hearing you say it. And I don't know if you know, but I be watching you and I'm be like, I'm so encouraged. Like,
I be feeling that with you too.
I know. I be so encouraged because I'm like, my best friend, she be going through the most, Lord. And even like, and then I'll be so excited because like you'll come out of it and I'll be like, God, you answer my prayers. You're so good. Like I see you do it for her. I see you, Lord. You can do it for me. I thank you, Jesus. I'll be in the house clapping and crying. I'm like, yes, Lord. You gave me an example, God. And I honor you, Lord. I just get so excited because it's just like, you gave me a friend, something that I prayed for because I had so many friends that hurt me and violated me. And then, like turned their backs on me. I mean, did some crazy stuff. But then I have a friend that hurts me that the Lord, because you be hurting my feelings. I'm not even gonna lie. There's sometimes I'll be like, I ain't calling her for 2 days. because I just be like, she ain't gonna come up in here and talk to me like that. Cause, and then I'm like, I calm down and I'm like, that's a real friend. Somebody that's gonna tell you like, okay, you too emotional, sis. Like reeling in. And I'm like, I honor that. I appreciate that. Lord, you gave me a real friend because that's what I asked for. Somebody who can do this walk with me that will encourage me. I told God, I don't want any more relationships, any more friendships that compromise my relationship with Him.
Yeah.
And if it is, I don't even want to be able to walk into it. That was my prayer. And I'm like, I didn't looking at me. Why everybody want to talk? And I'm just like, Lord, you answering my prayers in this season where you're forcing me to, first of all, be secluded. So He doesn't allow me to talk to everybody. He doesn't allow me to go to a bunch of different places. When you see me someplace, like if I show up at an event, I done prayed before I got there.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going everywhere. I get a lot of invitations. And it'd be sometimes where He'll say, no, I need you to pray. You can't walk into the place, but spiritually, we're going to pray about the place. And I'm home and I'm at the event because I'm interceding. And I'm just like, who gonna be there? And I think people think I ask that because I want to make sure I'm not aligning myself in a situation. Mm-hmm. That's not always the case. Sometimes I'm not always allowed to walk into places. So it's just like, Lord, these are the prayers I'm praying. These are the things that you are giving me because these are my heart's desires. And my heart desire is to make sure that I'm aligned with you. I don't want to put myself in danger because I am in a vulnerable place. And I think like realizing that maturity in me and watching me come from I'm about to turn up at every party to saying I don't have to go to everything I'm invited to because at some point I have to start protecting what He poured into me.
Yeah.
There was some times where I'd be drunk or high. I have a cigarette. I'm like, Lord, right before I quit smoking, I said, every time I light a cigarette, somebody want to come and talk to me about the Lord. Whole thing done burnt down. I'm like, these Newport 100s expensive. I had to switch to Mavericks. Because I'm just like, Lord, this is what you're calling me to. And it's just like, okay, now you have me open. Now you have me in a place where I do feel vulnerable because what I think about myself is being ejected from me.
Yeah.
To where like I'm able to look in the mirror now. I looked at myself the other day. I'm like, oh, you got a little over here. I'm like, you got dark circles, this, that, and the third. Pick myself apart in the mirror. Then I came back. I was like, you're beautiful though. Like, look at you. You got some gray hairs and this, that, and the third. And then I go out in the world and the first person I come face to face with says, oh my goodness, your skin is gorgeous.
Yeah.
You're beautiful.
Right, he's doing that to me too.
Just like, Lord, okay,
And
I needed that.
And like my lowest moments, it seemed like He was sending people, you especially.
Oh.
Like you just be looking at me like, best friend, you so beautiful. And I'm like,
because
you
you
gotta say that.
are.
Like, I'm like, you gotta say that. But then it's like when you say it.
You think so?
No, I'm gonna be honest. I know. I'm like, you gonna say that to me because I know she gotta say that to me. But it's like
because that's
when I go out and it's just like random people. You know what I mean? Like it's just been random people. And then like I said, he kept sending Miss Jackie to me, the lady from my job. I ain't worked with her in years. And it's like every time she see me, oh my God, you're so gorgeous. You're so beautiful. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, all right, she don't gotta say this to me. So obviously what my best friend does said is true. Obviously what my kid be saying that like Tootie will just walk past me. Like, you're so pretty and so squeeze my face and give me kisses. And I'm just like, but it's like, why does it have to take all of that for me to get it? And it be making me irritated. And you want to know what? I feel like also in my forced to lean moment, because we're talking about our friendship and what we mean to each other, I had to stop looking at you as a means of this is why I'm not getting because I'm not you.
What?
I did.
Oh,
I did.
I'm happy you didn't tell me that.
Like, because even in the beginning of our friendship, it was like I saw like me and you was darn near in the same place. We were rocking the same way. Like we about to fight, about to smoke, about to drink. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and you were just coming out of that. And I was still battling that. So it was like when you kind of did your almost 180 because we still got stuff that we're working on with you, sis. We know this. But it's like when everybody kept coming to you like, oh my gosh, you this and that, and you different. And I'm just like, yeah, she different, but I also see her every day. I see what she's working on and I see what we praying to get. But it was like because I knew we had tendencies that were the same, but I seen how you like was,
Yeah. We shoved the plate.
I'm here, God. But I'm still like fighting. I'm still battling. I don't know. Like I'm still going through. And it's just like I hear what you're still battling. I see where we're still, but you're just like fasting for 40 days.
Don't
You
do that.
writing a book
Don't do it,
and
bruh.
and you doing this and you
And you
doing that.
starting
And
podcasts.
I'm like,
And you writing devotionals.
but that's now. But it was like I had to get out of that mindset. Like in that whole like shift cliff, when I say he was pulling stuff out of me, like stop coveting what your friend has. Stop coveting her annoying.
Girl.
Stop trying to be her.
I think the Lord had me.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it was just like, in my heart of hearts, I was just like, no, I just love what you doing for my friend. I just love what she going through. Like, I just like seeing her and being like, if that's the standard I gotta work toward. And then it was like, in that whole reshift, it was like, this is a friend that's supposed to walk with you, not somebody you're supposed to become. I started creating another identity crisis because I thought I had to be you, thought I had to be Ty, thought I had to be Pastor Nakia, thought I had to be Bishop, thought I had to be, like, I thought I had to be all these people. Meanwhile, like you said, Erica, you doing this too, and you doing this too. I literally had to find my own voice before I did it because I was like, it's gonna be inauthentic if I keep doing it the way that I'm doing it because I'm gonna start trying to sound like y'all.
Yeah.
Especially you.
Why?
Because I love you so much. And it was because like you said, we've had friends, we have friends, we have connections. But it's like I have girlfriends that I have been friends with for over a decade, and I still don't get this. And we got it so fast.
Yeah.
Like it's like I feel like I've known you all my life. Like I literally feel like you're my soulmate.
Oh my God.
Like, you know what I mean?
That's
and
what
not in like a sexual way or like whatever, but it's just like in that mindset of my soulmate can come in anything as a partner. And I feel like he created you to be my partner. So it was like when I got something from him and I know it was anointed by him and I knew it was ordained, I literally became so immersed in what you were doing to the point where I started disqualifying myself. And I'm like, I can't get this because I'm not acting like her. But it's just like you said, I can't want the things that you have without realizing what you're going through. So the fact that I was able to sit in it with you and go through it with you, and I'm your venting board and you're my venting board, it was like literally leaning on him meant that I had to dissect and reject and replace and renounce and do all of these things that I didn't even know were.
Yeah.
Not trying to people please you because I have abandonment issues, because I'm like, I can't lose her. So I'm gonna do everything I can. But then he took away all of those things that I could do for you to show me that we're really just there for each other. Like you're really my walking partner. Like, no, you're not gonna do for her because I'm gonna do it and you're gonna sit back and watch and you're gonna learn something. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like this whole friendship that we're going through, it's not only like a learning experience, but it's also bringing stuff out in me that I have to address.
Yeah.
To make me what he wants me to be.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because it's hard to do that.
Crazy.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, it's just like, okay, God, my idea of leaning was doing what you were doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was full obedience, 40-day fast. Like, if I'm not eat, sleep, drinking the Bible, then it's not going to work for me. And I got to wake up and pray, and I got to go to sleep and pray, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. And I had gotten so crazy at one point to where when I was applying for all those jobs for like, and I was trying to get an apartment, and then I was trying to get this done, and I'm looking at you as an example, and it's just like, oh, well, she's only getting that because she's actually doing it, and this is why you're not getting it. And I had to look at myself, and I was like, what is happening? And my lean moments were, stop thinking you gotta be like everybody else. You were supposed to be you and nobody else. I called you. That's why when we're doing the podcast episodes like what I had with Angie, and she's like, you trying to kill the old man, but you're supposed to be using some parts of your old man to do the work of God. But I'm sitting here looking at it as a negative because that's what it was on the outside to me.
Yeah.
So now it's like my leaning points is just like, now I have to take what I have to take and I have to apply it in the kingdom of God in ways that actually push the kingdom of God now, including my friendship with you. And I was irritated.
It's so crazy because that was one of my prayers that I prayed. I said, Lord, I hope that when she looks at me, she sees you, but she doesn't see me as you.
Yeah.
That was my prayer. And that's my prayer, like, for my family. I was like, because that was one of my things. Like, that was one of my first hurts in God, was that the person that I seen God in, I seen as God, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when that
Making him
person,
an idol,
yeah,
essentially.
exactly. So when that person fell, God failed. And it was just like, okay, because people of God are fallible, we can't put that characteristic on God because we represent him, and that's the whole point of all of this. And that was my prayer that like launched everything. I said, Lord, I didn't have somebody that I could look at, and see them go through it. I hear this is where I was and this is where I am. This person you see before you today, God did it, and I'm just like sitting here and I'm going through stuff and I'm pulling my hair out and I'm crying and, I'm fasting. There's some days where like, I'm like, you need to get up and go wash. You need to get up and go brush your teeth. Do not fall back into depression. Do not fall and allow things to make you have an anxiety attack. Like I'm forcing myself and talking to myself. I'm pushing myself out of bed. You need to clean this room because you've been in it for too long. Clean this room and come out of it. Anoint everything. Like it's just like going through that type of stuff in a season where it's just like there's nothing, there's nothing but God. And then you have the people that he placed around you to check you, your checks and balances. That's what I call people like you and Bishop and Lady. Y'all are my checks and balances because I'll have you that's honest with me and you'll do it in Erica's way. Lady will do it in her way. My mom will do it in her way. Bishop will do it in his way. My dad, he'll do it in his way. And it's just like I get the same message differently from all the people that, like pours into me. But it's the same thing. Y'all saying the same thing. And I just be sitting there like, Lord, I heard you. Lord, I heard you. Like I'm hearing you. Like, no, you're not hearing. Because you're still doing the same thing. Get up, move, go out, get sun, make sure you take your vitamins today. Like it's just like what and like I had to like talk someone else out of a depression. And I said to them, and it was so crazy because I heard myself say to them, and it was like I was speaking life into myself. I said, you prepare for your death for so long that you don't know how to live. And I was just like, sheesh, who was that? Okay, Lord. And then it like I started to talk to this person and I was like, for almost 40 years. I said, how long did you think that you were supposed to live? He was like, I didn't think I'd make it this far. I was either gonna be dead or locked up. I said, and are you? Are you? And he like, no. I said, okay, now you need to change how you live your life because you're no longer walking towards the grave. Live. And I heard myself and I'm like, you have to train yourself to live. And then you got to train the people around you to prepare for your life because you've done trained the people around you for your death. And I'm sitting here and I'm listening to myself and I'm like, oh my God, in myself while I'm talking. And I'm like, okay. And then like I thought about the conversation I had with Andrea and we were talking about people who fight depression. When you're a friend with someone who overcame depression, you got to go back. You can't just say, oh, you beat that battle. You got to say, did you get in the shower today? Did you brush your teeth today? Did you look in the mirror today? You have to be their checks and balances.
Yeah.
Because when you have somebody that's being forced to lean on God, when you have somebody that's going through a waiting period, they become idle sometimes.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do with their hands. They have these thoughts, these lies that's whispered because they're idle and they're praying. Sometimes you'll be waiting and you're not praying. So now you have the devil has that time to come in and start whispering lies about you, about where you're going, about what God wants for you. you know, and I'm just like, it sound kind of all right, you know, from where I am. But then I'm like, hold up. The Bible says,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just like, okay, now I got to combat these things while I'm waiting. So I'm not only like just sitting in a space being forced to cast all my cares upon him. You know, I'm not just sitting in a space where I'm just like, Lord, I give you everything. I'm in a space where the devil's seen the table that God went to prepare for me. And he coming back to, you know, we talked about Psalms 23. Like the Lord is preparing the table before me in the presence of my enemies. And they're coming back to discourage me from walking into what he has for me. I got to deal with that while I'm sitting and waiting while he's preparing. Like, this is the things that I'm dealing with. This is the things that I am speaking against while I'm leaning. And it gets it gets so exhausting. Like, you can get exhausted in waiting. You can get exhausted in leaning because where are you putting your hope? Are you depending on your own strength? This is the stuff I was saying to myself. Like, you ain't got it, sis. You ain't got it. You don't got the strength. You got the word of God. Use it. That's what I had to keep telling myself. Like, you got the word of God. Use it. What are you saying to this?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be honest. I'm like, nigga. Like, who you think you talking to? Like, I don't know. It's you. I know the voice of the Lord, and it ain't that. Like, who you thought you was coming in?
Yeah.
Like, I started to get angry because it was just like, you really think you gonna come
Like
in
the
here and
second I
talk
had
to me
something
like that?
coming to my, I'm like, oh nah. I'm like, I was just sitting here minding my own holy business. And here you come. Like, I be getting so mad now. Like, to the point where I'm like shaking. I'm like, oh, now
No.
we was just doing good. And it was like when I started getting that process and that progress and I was striving and I was coming out that hole. And I'm like, you know what? This ain't depression. This is realignment. I see it. And then it was sitting there, but you still ain't going to get. But I was like, let me tell you something because I was cool. What you're not going to do is come in here and start disrupting my little bit of progress I got. Like, and that's where I can tell we're different because we might have entertained it. We might have fell into it. But now we like, nah,
Yeah.
what we're not going to do is what you're not going to do, and you're not going to come in here. And if I'm going to have to sit here and shadow box you, then that's what the heck we about to do because I'm not doing that again. I'm not going back there. I have been told that I'm going somewhere else, and that's where I'm going. So if I got to sit here and talking to you and you talking to me, because sometimes you're right, I don't hear what I say to myself sometimes. And that's why I almost feel like he be having us go through almost the same thing at the same time because we know our voices to each other are what we're lacking in ourselves right now. Like, you get what
A
I'm
lot of
saying?
times, yeah.
Because just like you said, you have everybody's like, you know, everybody is specific to a way that they know how to talk to you. Even if we all say the same thing, we all say it different.
Yeah.
But it's like you need to hear it in all them different ways for it to.
Yeah.
But most of the time, if I'm not talking to you, I might have like maybe one other person. But I started learning I only go to certain people for certain things that I know that they're qualified for, just like I was talking about on that Talk to Me Nice now.
Yeah.
Because now I had to do all the homework and I had to say, okay, if they not even doing most of this stuff, maybe I don't need to talk to them. Or maybe they do speak life into me this way, but I know not to go to them for this because this is what gets triggered. So I had to start categorizing people.
That's maturity.
Like, you know what I mean? And it took me a long time.
Yeah.
Because now I'm like, only some people can know my business, if any. And half of the time I'm praying to God first, but I'm like, I know you're my safe space. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I said the same thing I said on that Talk to Me Nice thing. I said, I respect you because even when you know you're not qualified to give me advice, you'll still pray for me and you'll redirect me somewhere else that I need to go.
Did you
Like,
call
you know
that
what I
shit?
mean? So it's just like, even though we don't listen to like ourselves, we know who we can listen to for what we're going through. And because me and you both go through depression, but we both go through it differently,
Yeah.
but have the similarities, we know how to speak to each other until we know how to speak to ourselves. And I was like, I appreciate that. And I didn't know how much I appreciated it because I was used to yes men as friends, or I was used to ones that gave me information based off of their trauma. And I was like, you know, I was taking it and then I was getting into some stuff. And then I was like, you know what? I ain't got nobody to be mad at but myself because I shouldn't have did that dumb stuff. But now it's like, I know how to maneuver. So even in this vulnerable spot of leaning and figuring it out with God and allowing him he's basically he gutted me out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I was an abandoned house where he came in, started wrecking walls, tearing down the beams, ripping the wall. And I'm just like, bro. And then when you sit in here telling me in my condemned stage that I'm going to be this big, immaculate, lovely, like, I'm like, huh. But now that I'm starting to see the walls being put in, I'm starting to see the paint going up. I'm starting to see the carpet being laid. I'm starting to see everything being framed out. Even though it's not finished yet, it's like I can't look at my condemned stage. I have to look at the stages in
Yeah.
between that and where I'm going, because when I see the progress, then it makes me a little bit more. So when I'm going through this depressive stage and I'm hearing all these voices, I'm like, no, because this time last year I was here. Now I'm here. Last week I was doing this, but I seen that I'm doing this now. Yesterday was this, but right now I'm doing this. So it was like I had to start mapping out stages for
Mhm.
myself. So that's why I said it felt like depression, but it felt different because now I'm using those tools that you gave me. I'm reading them scriptures that you sent me. I'm hearing your voice, but then I'm actually going back in my head and I'm saying, no, I am not doing that because we would have did this before, but now we're here and this is what we're thinking. I know now when I hear that voice, nah, bruh, back up off me. I'm good where I'm at. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I appreciate this lean phase. I might not like it all the time. I might have beef. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got beef, and don't get me wrong, because I be in there talking to God crazy because I'm like, bruh, I don't know what you got going on, but I trust you. But I want to fight still. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like I had to learn how to actually tell him how I was feeling.
Yeah.
I had to stop hiding in that wine press. I had to actually get down and say, this is where I'm at. I might not see who you see, but I am going to have to trust what you're saying.
Right.
Because if you saying this, I can't contradict your word and the word coming from your mouth about me, because you don't lie. You always fulfill your promises, and everything that you say, you do. So it's like, that's what my leaning moment looks like now. I have to stop compromising and putting laws up on my heart, like Pastor Pam said, on the word, especially when it's coming from his mouth to me. Like, my lean is literally like, if I say I have faith in you, because I never really had an issue with faith with him. It was never him. It's always been me. But he created me. So now it's like my leaning moment is trusting that everything he says about me is true.